What up, y'all? This is your boy Yankees fan for life, aka the Wrestling Kid. I'm sure you've all heard by now that the Macho Man is gone. Um, for those of you that don't know, it was reported that the Macho Man was on the highway driving his car, and he had a heart attack, which led to him losing control of the vehicle, and he crashed and died. And that report was later confirmed by his brother Lanny Poffo. Um, all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna miss the Macho Man. I was the biggest Macho Man fan ever, and of course I know there's 100 million other people that will say the same thing. When I was about 11 or 12, when I first started watching the Macho Man wrestle, when he got to WWF, and he quickly took over as one of the biggest characters there. Before him, you had Hogan and Piper. They were larger than life. They were the two most larger than life characters there out of all the other larger than life characters that there was so many back then. Those were the two biggest. But then when the Macho Man came, he took over. Now you didn't just have Hogan and Piper, you had Hogan, Piper, and the Macho Man. And the Macho Man he was the craziest of them all. I mean, he was unpredictable. You didn't know what you were getting with him. He was like the Wolverine of the Marvel Universe. Well, no, I mean the Wolverine of the WWF. He was off the chain, man. That was the best character back then, and to this day, nothing can beat that. He was so colorful. He would come to the ring. He had the most colorful robes. That flamboyancy that started with Gorgeous George, that went on down to the superstar Billy Graham, and then it went on down to guys like Jesse Ventura, Hulk Hogan, and the Macho Man. But the Macho Man was one of the first dudes that did that wasn't a bleach blonde. I mean, that dude was off the chain, man. He had his valet, Miss Elizabeth, who was his wife in real life, and later on he married on television. I think it was a Saturday Night's Main Event where they got married on television. That was awesome. He used to treat Miss Elizabeth like his personal trophy. And I mean, even in real life, wrestlers would say the Macho Man, Randy Savage would go crazy if any man looked at her. He would lock her up in her room. They be on tour, they be in hotels and stuff. He would lock her in the room. He was to the extreme. If there was a fire in the hotel, she couldn't get out because she was locked in her room. He'd lock in and take the key. He was off the chain, man, but that was the Macho Man. He was one of a kind. That dude was one of a kind, man. I remember I was 13 in the 7th grade when the Macho Man fought Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Macho Man was the Intercontinental Champion. He took the title from Tito Santana. And to me, the Macho Man was the greatest. To this day, he is the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. When I was a kid, I didn't want to be the World Heavyweight Champion. I wanted to be Intercontinental Champion because Macho Man made that shit. He made that shit coveted. He made that shit dope. Nobody could take that from him. And I remember when they picked Ricky the Dragon Steamboat to feud with the Macho Man for that title. That was one of the best feuds I had ever seen at that point. To this day, it's one of the best feuds I had ever seen. The Macho Man grabbed a bell and he came off the top rope in one of their matches and he crushed Ricky Steamboat's larynx. Steamboat was choking. He was out of commission for a while, couldn't talk nothing. Macho Man relished in it. Then all of that culminated at WrestleMania 3. That was the match that stole the show. Hogan and Andre was the match that sold the tickets. But the match that sold the show was Macho Man and Steamboat. Me and my friends would never forget that. Cause we expected a great match, but we didn't expect an instant classic like that was. You talk about 5-star matches today. That was 5 stars. That's one of the first matches that we ever seen, which was fast paced. Throughout the whole match, it was fast paced. It was one of the first matches where it was high flying throughout the whole match, aside from luchador wrestling. This was one of the first matches that there was so many near falls in this match. You had 1, 2 shoulder raise, 1, 2 shoulder raise. There was so many. This match had you on the edge of your seat. We knew Steamboat was gonna win. We knew Steamboat was gonna take the title, but we didn't know that this match was gonna be as great as it was. And this is because Macho was such a stickler. Macho will call Steamboat every day and say, "Yo, we're gonna do it this way and this way and this way." The next day, I want you to repeat after me. We're going to do it this way, and this way. And they went back and forth and telling each other what moves they were going to do to each other. And they had the whole routine down. So when it came game day, WrestleMania 3, Macho and Steamboat stole the show. They stole that show. You know what I'm saying? And my friends and I will never forget that. It was, it was inevitable. Macho had to turn face because he was loved by so many. He was so cool, man. So he turned face. Team with Hulk Hogan. Him and Hulk Hogan were the mega powers. When you're mega powers with Hulk Hogan, that's your tag team partner. I mean, come on, man. There's so much rich history with the Macho Man. It's crazy, man. He was part of NWO. He was part of NWO Wolfpack with the red and black. He was managed by Sherry Martel, Sensational Sherry. I mean, oh my gosh. The parents that this dude had, man. As far as managers or with other wrestlers, feuds. That is a career that in no way, it's one of the most unequal wrestling careers ever. This man should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago. Years ago. He should have been in the Hall of Fame, but because of personal issues or because of whatever, I'm not going to talk about the rumors because I don't know what's true and I don't know what's not. But all I got to say is I hope that can be put to the side finally so that this man can get his due place in the Hall of Fame. It's unfortunate that none of us Macho Man fans will be able to hear his final his Hall of Fame speech. We won't be able to hear it now because he's gone. He can't give us that speech that we wanted, that we knew we were going to mark out for. That would have been the biggest mark out moment of our lives, and it should have happened years ago. And we can't be bitter about it. We just have to take it as it is. Macho, much love. You always my favorite wrestler. You always will be. And that's it, man. One love to the Macho Man, Randy Savage. One love to the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Ooh yeah.